Hello, here's Movie Fanatic Nate coming at you to continue what I'm just starting at this point now for the fantastic holiday season of 2017. I'm coming at you to review a movie which, I knew about at the time, but just because I don't know, had a brain, I never bothered seeing at the time, but having come across it for $2 at Half Price Books, I bought and I watched last night, and I'm coming at you to review Jack Frost. And unfortunately, yes, it's the one that's got Michael Keaton in it versus the horror movie. I have seen the horror movie Jack Frost, but it was probably in the early 2000s. I can't remember it. I'd have to see it again to review it, so I probably won't be reviewing that this year unless I find it, for $2 or something. But coming at you to review this version of Jack Frost. So, I've always liked Michael Keaton ever since, I saw him and whatever. I mean, Dream Team back in the day, and obviously Batman and stuff like that. I mean, for me, Batman was a movie that, being 12 years old, just really solidified Michael Keaton in my mind. And, I've liked him ever since. And ironically, for the most part, I mean, he kind of, maybe I just wasn't paying attention to him after Batman Returns, but from I don't know. I didn't really remember seeing a whole hell of a lot of him after Batman Returns. I mean, obviously he did stuff like this or whatever, but anyway, I'm just trying to say that for me it seemed like he disappeared, but he still was doing stuff, but I don't know what I'm saying. So on to the review of the movie. Having watched it for the very first time last night, I will say that it definitely has this really cool kind of, Christmas holiday vibe to it. Unfortunately, like the actual, there's a lot of, later on would you come to find out that like the set for his house, that the character of, the kid lives in and his family and stuff, is like the exterior is like an interior set, and it's just like, oh my god, like you couldn't really tell at night, but then the next day it's just like, it's supposed to be daylight, and it's just like, oh my god. So that kind of stuff I really dislike. But the first scene towards the beginning of the movie where the, Michael Keaton's son gets out of school for Christmas break or whatever, and they have that big snowball fight's kind of cool. I mean, it should be said off, straight off the bat that, this is a PG movie, basically kind of a family movie, if you will, made for kids. And obviously when you have a movie made for kids, I mean, not in all cases, obviously, like movies like Explorers, which I, hold in high regard, you can have PG movies that are made for kids that are actually just not just frickin' stupid and baby suck your thumb kind of movie. This, in my opinion, is more of a baby suck your thumb kind of movie, which is just terminology that I just invented right now on camera in real time. Maybe something that I will use in the future. I kind of like that. So this is very much a baby suck your thumb kind of a movie of just, shenanigans and whatever. And I guess, what made me think of that was the scene right that I was starting to mention, where he gets very early on in the movie, Michael Keaton's son gets let out of school for a Christmas break, and there's this really, one of the best scenes in the movie. At the time, I don't know, it turned out to be one of the best scenes in the movie, which is this kind of really big snowball fight war thing with all the kids that have just got out of school. It's almost like they have this just, and it should be said that, this scene included with some of the other scenes later on do look like they're actually filmed outdoors during the winter in an actual winter environment, which is something that always gets huge props from me. I hate when they fake snow, and of course there's a lot of fake snow in this movie as well. When it's snowing on people and it gets in their hair, I can't, being someone who lives in Minnesota, it always bugs me when you see fake snow in people's hair and clothes and stuff. But, the little snowball war thing at the beginning of the movie was cool. Basically, at the end of the day, I didn't know that, like, this poor boy's character, this little boy's character's dad dies in the movie and comes back as Jack Frost. I thought that was pretty sad. I mean, it's like, he's the world's coolest dad and he's going to prove it. I mean, I guess I should have been, should have figured out the fact that he died. I mean, what kind of holiday movie is that? I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, depressing in a way. And so I guess I didn't know, being, again, a guy who doesn't read the back of the boxes, I didn't know that this guy, basically Michael Keaton's character, is this kid's dad in this perfect family situation and crap, and he ends up dying and coming back as a snowman. But basically the story of this movie is Michael Keaton, his name is Jack Frost, and he's got this Jack Frost band, and he's, it's a swinging band, not a swing band, but I mean a band that's all hot to trot and really great and loved by people who see and hear them, and they're just, you know, been doing their band for I don't know how long, but they're just, you know, really aching. You know, Jack Frost, in this case, Michael Keaton playing Jack Frost, is all anxious to get all signed, and he feels like he wants to, you know, it's a big life goal of his, is to get signed by a record company and actually just start, you know, being able to make a good living off his music and stuff is his dream. And, you know, the whole plot of this movie is him trying to balance that, his dream, with family life and whatever, and showing up. Of course, this is the same kind of thing we've seen over and over and over in these kind of kids movies where, you know, dad, you know, neglects to, you know, forgets to, you know, show up for his kid's hockey game. I can't remember what other movies I've seen this in, just so many other times, you know. So early on in the movie, he's at the recording studio recording, and time goes by and he misses his kid's hockey game, and oh boy, the kid's disappointed and this and that. You know, rightfully so, but at the same time, I mean, I would be excited for my dad. Like, you know, recording an album is much more exciting than hockey. Sorry, I'm going to bleep that swear word because I try not to swear in PG reviews of PG movies for kids, just in case there's a kid watching, not that he hasn't heard that word in school and kindergarten many times, but whatever. What I was getting at is I would be excited for my dad if he was recording an album, and I would, you know, I would ditch the hockey game to go watch him record an album, because it's much more interesting to me than playing hockey, in my opinion. I'm not a hockey fan or really a sports fan at all. So I can't really side with the kid in this instance. I mean, I guess you can understand, you know, Dad forgot to show up to my hockey game and he doesn't have time to practice, you know, show me that great hockey shot or whatever. And it's just like, you know, you understand the kid's point of view, but at the same time, I mean, you've got a cool musician dad, you know, but whatever. And then when Jack Frost, I hate calling him that, when Michael Keaton's character comes home and he, you know, apologizing to his son for missing the hockey game, he's like, okay, tell you what, you, me, and Mom are all going up to the cabin for Christmas. Nothing's going to get in the way. And then the next day, I think that was, we're going to leave the next day. And then the next morning, ding, oh, we've got to have a meeting tomorrow with, you know, this record company wants to sign you. And it's just the kids all depressed. Oh, it should be said that Michael Keaton, Jack Frost, gives his kid this harmonica, which he says, if you play the harmonica, I'll hear it wherever I am, or whatever, some kind of crap. The kid just being pissed is just like, you know, obviously, you know, the night before, Dad made this promise to go off for a family vacation at the cabin with just them and no phones and stuff, and then the next morning is like, oh, sorry son, I gotta go meet with the, you know, frickin' on Christmas record company or whatever. And what's in such a stupid move, like halfway on the trip to meet with the record producer, Michael Keaton's character of Jack Frost is like, I can't, what am I doing? You know, family comes first. And then he turns around and he gets in his car and he's like going up with the band members in a van and stuff like that, and he takes his car by himself and heads back, presumably to the cabin or something like that, or back home or whatever, to actually do the family thing, feeling guilty, and only to get in a car accident, you know, at night in the slippery roads in the mountain and slide off. You know, obviously it's a kid PG movie, so we don't see the crash, and you know, we don't know exactly how he died, broken neck or, you know, broken back. We don't get the particulars on that. It's a kid's movie. And then we cut to a year later. It's just like the kids all, you know, basically the same time of year. It's just a day or so before Christmas or whatever, and kids depressed, I should say, and just life sucks. Whatever. And the kid ends up, I'm going to try to start really speeding this up now because this is going on way too long, but all the stuff I really wanted to lay out there is all done, and now I can just finish the review quickly. The kid's just like all depressed, and he makes, oh, him and his dad, that's another thing. I gotta lay out something else really quick here. Him and his dad, Jack Frost, Michael Keaton, before he died, obviously, made a snowman and put his dad's hat on it and whatever, and okay, so there. That's something you have to know, because, you know, later on, a year later, he'll put his dead dad's hat on the snowman he'll make just out of whatever, being depressed and lonely and stuff. And after he makes the snowman and puts his scarf and hat on it, he goes into the house or whatever and blows on the harmonica, and it's just like, ooh, magical and stuff going around the snowman and stuff. And basically for no inexplicable frickin' reason that makes any sense, you know, his dad a year later comes soul, life force, whatever, comes back and possesses this. I mean, it makes, well, it's, yeah, it should be said, it makes no sense at all, and even the character himself said it makes no sense in a way by saying that. I thought that was just a line, and he's like, I did too, you know, regarding the, you know, if you blow into the harmonica, I'll hear it wherever I am or whatever. So at the end of the day, obviously the dad possesses the snowman, which which at the time I thought would have been done completely CG. Probably now it would be completely CG, but I was very surprised and actually impressed. One of the only things that impresses me about the movie, except Kelly Preston and that nightwear she was wearing in that one scene, kind of, you know, I guess I'll just say it, nightwear. I mean, it's PG, so you're not going to see much, but you can see Kelly Preston fill out nightwear very amply or whatever. So one of the most impressive things in this movie is basically, from what I can understand, this is an animatronic back in the day, one of the last kind of Jim Henson Creature Shop fabrications. The majority of this movie, the snowman is an actual physical prop or wearable costume with an animatronic animated head, you know, facial eyes, expressions, stuff like that, which was very impressive. So the same people who did, you know, the same effect shop that did the Turtles in the, you know, the original 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies from the early 90s would basically make an animatronic faced and very impressive animatronic, you know, from what I can tell, physically operable stick arms and stuff like that. So the coolest thing and the most impressive thing about this movie is the actual physical effect, which is something you just don't see anymore. It would be completely computer generated now. Fabrication of the actual snowman, which was impressive. Yes, there are shots of CG shots when things they can't physically do and stuff like that. There's one of the better scenes is this kind of toboggan, you know, sled chase or toboggan / snowboarding chase with, you know, him and his dad, snowman, going down the hill, and this bully kid chasing him on a snowboard and whatever, throwing. So, I mean, that scene's kind of probably the best scene in the movie. It's relatively well done with some, you know, there's interspersed with lame shots, but it's just kind of like you couldn't get away with today, just like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, this movie is going to be 20 years old next year, so it came out in 1998, so, I mean, obviously nearly 20 years later, and this is more, you know, the early stages of computer enhanced or computer generated effects and stuff. So, I mean, I guess it gets a pass for that, but you know, as I said at the beginning of the review, I mean, just because a movie's PG rated and, you know, a family movie like Home Alone, you know, I regard Home Alone as being relatively entertaining even for someone who's getting on in years, or maybe just because I saw it when I was younger, I don't know. But this movie has more of that, what I'd call crap. I think whatever term I coined at the beginning of the review, you know, baby suck your thumb. I can't remember exactly what I said, something like that, where it's, I don't know, it's just more just conventional stuff you've already seen and stuff you'll see again, kind of just family movie conventions and stuff with the bully and then him, you know, making up with the bully at the end of the movie and all this kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm only going to be able to give Jack Frost 1 star out of 4 stars. I found it to be rather difficult to get through, and in particular just not digging the, you know, exterior scenes of his house when it's actual freaking you know, an interior set that's supposed to be exterior, and also the whole fact of this kid losing his dad, and then later on towards the end of the movie, like, you know, the thought of him, you know, it's getting warm, like it's gonna get 70 degrees, and the thought of his dad melting and the kid losing, the potential of losing his dad again, I thought was really kind of a nasty kind of idea for this movie. Like, geez, the kid already lost, his dad already died, and now he's gonna, you know, he got him back in a snowman, and now it's frickin' 70 degrees, and his dad's gonna die again. I thought that was really a stupid plot point. Like, how many times does this kid have to lose his dad? It's just kind of like a nightmare that never ends or whatever. So at the end of the day, I can't really recommend this movie except for just if you're interested in seeing some of the last physical animatronic effects that was done relatively well in the the snowman character, Jack Frost character, if you will. And that's kind of the only thing this movie's got going for it. You know, what did I expect? I don't know. I guess I thought it'd be better than this, to be honest, but I mean, I think this movie was kind of bombed when it came out, and rightfully so if that's the case, because, you know, I don't find it particularly very good, so hence the 1 star out of 4 stars. So thank you very much for watching my review of Jack Frost. I think that's pretty much all I got to say about the movie, and as always, I'll catch you on the next movie review.